Hey everyone, this is Jeff. This is a video on how to creatively arrange some of your lines to get kind of more advanced effects. This is the third video in a series called Lines. And I'm just letting you know that from where we last picked off, I did this. I got a whole bunch of lines, basically 9 wavy lines in general to create this pattern. So it's a 30-second long animation, and I'm really just going for a kind of a smooth, organic effect, and I will be applying other filters to it and showing you what is possible with just simply by moving lines around. So that is the original sequence. And in the fourth video of the dots series, I added a blob effect, and I've already got it added here. I'll just show you what it comprises of. It comprises of adding two effects. One is a box blur effect, which basically makes all these elements really blurry. And then the second is a simple choker effect, which basically looks at the gradient of where the blur is and draws a hard edge. And I made that choker go all the way out to the edge of the blur. So it kind of has this effect where all the blurriness, when it adds together, it kind of makes these lines look like they're joining. So for more information on that, you can look for the blob effect video, which is the fourth one in the dots sequence. So anyway, so with that effect, you can see I've got something that looks a little like this, which is a lot more psychedelic and fluid, and that's kind of what I was going for. So now that's pretty cool, but what it doesn't do, it doesn't create a lot of layering. It's kind of a cool pattern, but I want a more of a layered effect. So what I'm going to do is I am going to take this and I am going to select everything in this layer, and and this is comp 6. So what I'm just going to do is make a new composition, and I'll call this lines composite. And I'm just going to take comp 6 and drag it in a couple of different times. So now they're all together, and they're naturally on top of each other. But if I recolor them and maybe kind of reposition them a little bit, I think I could get some really cool kind of psychedelic effects. So let's just do that. So I'm going to leave the first one, I'm going to call it comp 6 yellow, which is the original one. And now I'm going to do this, I'm going to do comp 6 green. And then I'll make the last one comp 6 red. And let's just make that happen. So I'm going to go to comp 6 green, and I'm going to turn this green, and I'm going to add an effect. So I'm going to add an effect, color correction, hue saturation. And what hue saturation does is it allows me to colorize things. So I'm going to select hue saturation, and that's going to turn, I'll hide the yellow so this green will be on top so we can see it. So I'm going to see, so what this does is it allows me to, one, adjust hue saturation like you would a photograph, but I'm going to use it in the colorize feature. And immediately when you colorize, see, it just kind of changes the color. And based on this hue, I can turn this hue, I'm not kidding, there it is, it's just very subtle. So I'm going to go for a green, but saturation is really low. So I'm going to go for, I kind of want like a, there, kind of a blue-green. Yeah, like I'm using in the rest of this project. So there's kind of a blue-green. Okay. So I think that's pretty good. And now I'm going to select this last one, red, I'm going to add an effect of hue saturation. I just used it, so I can use it right here. And I'm going to colorize it. And in this case, I'm going to, since it's already, I'm going to make it a slightly pink red. So maybe I can, that's a little orange, that's a little more pink. I think that's pretty good for now. I can always go back and change it as I try and work this out. Okay, so now I have these three different colors, and they're all right on top of each other, so we're not really seeing a lot of difference. So I'm just going to do some things to kind of randomize how they align with each other. First I can do is just separate them in time a little bit. And then what I can also do is just play with general scale. Maybe work with positioning a little bit, just so one's always a little bit higher than the other. I'll move over where there's more. Okay. There, you can start to see how they're playing with each other. And maybe what I'll even do is I'll turn green 3D so I can flip it. So I'm going to use the X rotation to flip it 180 degrees. That'll even kind of get a mirror-like effect. And maybe that's too obviously mirror, so I'll flip it in two directions. And there it seemed a little less obvious. And so on this last one, maybe I will also flip it around. So I will do it 180 this way. And I'm kind of just playing around. Now, right now, they aren't always showing me what's behind, so I'm going to get them to blend in interesting ways. Now, so I'm going to go ahead and add darken. Actually, I'm going to turn that up there, and I'll add a darken here. There, I think I'm going to start to get, maybe I'll separate these more. I'm kind of playing here, obviously. My goal is to just get something that feels like there's some rhythm to it, but feels organic and constantly changing. The green and yellow may be a little bit close to my taste, but I think you can see where I'm going to get kind of an interesting layered effect.